Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to the special report, your news and views program about geek gaming culture on said internet. Come up in this show today, we are going to talk about the Microsoft E3 press conference and everything that they showed off. We're going to be grading that, and we're going to be talking about some of the announcements that Microsoft brought to the table and seeing how they stack up with me and talk about all the other major announcements that happened there. We're going to do that, and of course, honoring the life of TotalBiscuit, we're going to do another OC remix track of the day. My name is JD Shadow, and the special report will start right about now. Well, the Microsoft press conference at E3 has concluded, and they had a bit of good announcements, although nothing really earth-shattering. It's more along the lines of new games and new premieres that, for whatever reason, people in the gaming industry seem to want to debut their new games on Microsoft's stage for whatever reason. Maybe it's money, maybe it's just the fact that Microsoft has a good relationship with some of those studios, but whatever the case, there were some pretty interesting announcements that they brought up to the fold. More along the lines of new titles that are exclusive to the Xbox platform, and acquisitions of major studios that have created some games from Microsoft in the past. One major one that came up was Ninja Theory, one that had some financial problems at the end of Heavenly Sword that was on the PS3 when the PS3 was sort of in its between a rock and a hard place mode, when it was $600 or whatever you want to label as to what the problems Sony had with that platform when it first became available. There was a lot you could point there. But Heavenly Sword was actually not that bad of a game, and unfortunately it didn't get the praise that it should have gotten, or did not get the attention that it deserved, because it was a terrific game. It was a short game, it was a very short game, but it was not a bad game. However, they got into financial trouble on the back of that, and the DMC, the Devil May Cry reboot, did not help matters for them in any sort. But in a form of proof that you can bounce back from adversity, they had created Hell's Blade: Senua's Sacrifice and Enslave Odyssey to the West. And apparently they've been received pretty well. And when Microsoft announced that, it got much praise, as well as when they announced some of the other acquisitions that they had bought, which includes Undead Labs, which is not a studio that I am familiar with, Compulsion Games, which has been working on We Happy Few, and Microsoft went and gobbled that one up, Playground Games, who is responsible for a Forza line of games that we'll get to in just a moment, because there was a big announcement about those games, the next iteration, and has now created a new studio known as The Initiative. Now, before we go any further into the rest of the conference, I want to touch upon this. I've seen a few people been saying that this is a weird thing to applaud, but keep in mind that Microsoft is not known for having very many first-party titles. They always go for the third-party DLC exclusive deals. Although they haven't really delved into that recently, they had certainly garnered a lot of backlash when that whole Rise of the Tomb Raider time exclusivity came about, which benefited nobody except for the people who are going to get all the profit from it. None of that happened this time. However, the acquisitions of these studios could be a sign that they are going to try to play keep away yet again. Though you can also look at it from a way that Microsoft can now say they have more first-party studios in order to make something that will benefit from the hardware that the Xbox One has. However, it would also be something that works with Windows 10, which is something that they're still touting, in which they're doing the cross-platform thing, and that seems to be a big problem with Microsoft in a whole, which we'll get to in a moment. but they would be seeing this as a good thing because more first-party platforms, more first-party titles for Microsoft. Though we've seen what they've done with Rare recently. We've seen what Rare has become. We've seen what Rare has been suffering from at the hands of Microsoft. So let's just say that we don't really know how well they will do when Microsoft has complete control of them, because we've seen their track record, and their track record is nothing to smile about. Though creating a new studio from scratch, that's something that Microsoft does. That is something that I'm going to hold my breath about, because that's the first time I've ever seen Microsoft actually do that. Usually they acquire those studios, unless you count Lionhead, and let's not get into that whole discussion because we'll be here for another week. Speaking of major first-party exclusive titles, they didn't really have a whole lot of exclusive titles that they wanted to bring out. Three major ones was Halo Infinite, which we'll get to just a second, Gears 5, which was a major announcement, and Forza Horizon 4, which was the one I was the most excited about. And I'll tell you that in just a moment, because we're going to go in order here. First of all, Halo Infinite, which started out the show and had a in-game footage, in-game presentation, in-engine presentation. Notice you always see those anymore in these press conferences. Like, oh, this is shown in the engine because, hey, there's been those issues recently, hasn't there? But from what we've seen so far, we hadn't seen much of gameplay. We just saw some environments and then people walking somewhere and somebody throwing a grenade, a smoke grenade behind them or something like that. And then we see, of course, the now familiar helmet of Master Chief. And, of course, then we see the Halo Infinite logo. Some people have saying this is the open world Halo that everybody's been wanting to see, and if that is the case, then I'm not ready for it because I haven't really finished any other Halos except the first one. I just started to get into the Halo series, and I just started playing the first one, or I completed the first one, and I started playing the second one. And from what I've seen so far of the Halo series, is a series that I wish that I had gotten into at the start of it, because I would see what all the fuss was about. Now, of course, I got the Master Chief Collection. I'm playing through those now. But if this is really in-game engine, and if this was something that was shown within the confines of that engine, then it's something that I'm going to be kind of intrigued about. Because how are they going to fill that kind of world? How are they going to make that kind of world immersive enough? Because it seems really desolate. It seems that there was nothing in the world, no people to interact with. It seems as though it was a war-torn world. There was one point in time where I thought there was in some sort of desert camp setting. If anybody has seen the new Solo Star Wars movie recently, no spoilers, but you'll know the scene I'm talking about near the end of the movie when they're delivering something. Kind of don't want to spoil too much of it, but you'll know the place I'm talking about, and it seemed like that place was a desolate version of that kind of encampment. What is the story going to be? What is the setting going to be? Is it going to be an open world setting? What kind of environments are we going to have? If it is an open world setting, can we please have sensible controls for the vehicles now? Can we finally have that? What is the multiplayer going to be like? Because, you know, Halo is going to be all about the multiplayer as well as the single player. Hopefully the single player does get some significant attention here. I'm intrigued, though. We'll have to wait and see about that. Gears 5 had a really weird way of how they started to announce that, because the first thing they announced was something called Gears Pop, which was a mixture of Gears of War with Funko Pop characters, or whatever you call them. I don't even know what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about. You see them at GameStop all the time. This is a really weird concept, and okay, if you're into that, more power to you. I'm kind of not into that. I'm kind of not that kind of collector, stuff like that. Although, you know what, if that floats your boat, more power to you. And if they want to make a game like that, as long as it doesn't detract from any of the other games that they're trying to make, then okay, fine. I have no problem with them making casual games. Matter of fact, I like some of the casual games that come out, and I'm into all kinds of games. I don't discriminate against those kinds of games. However, as long as it doesn't detract from the other games that they are trying to make that we are going to be interested in as well, as long as they don't discriminate the other way as well, then we are fine there. Then they had Gears Tactics. Shout out to Final Fantasy Tactics, to which this is a real-time strategy game. They're trying to experiment with it. Kind of an interesting franchise to experiment with, have you? And then, of course, if the guy didn't announce Gears 5, just left it there, like, okay, that's kind of anticlimactic, would it? But he did announce Gears 5. And from what some people have said about the Gears franchise, and forgive me as Microsoft was not the first company that I sided with doing the whole fanboy wars stuff I got into back in 2008. I was more of a PlayStation person at the point of time than more along the lines of a PC-centric person. Now I just own all three systems, and I'm trying to balance out the three equally and trying to give them an equal share of coverage and an equal share of love. But from what I've seen and what I've heard, the Gears timeline is kind of weird. It's kind of screwed up, where one game is in between two other sequels, and this is going to be before the first Gears or before the first Gears, but after the last prequel. Where is this in the storyline? I guess it's not all about the storyline, because these types of games, you're all about the combat, all about the action. You're not there to watch movies. You're going to be more about, okay, what is the control scheme going to be like? How is this going to differ in feel from the other games? What's going to be different about these games? What's going to make me feel like that I'm playing a Gears of War game? But I have a funny feeling that Gears of War is also one of those games where the story will make you want to stick around to find out what happens. It's those types of games that balance out those aspects of the game that I'm really interested in. I never played a Gears of War game though. I'll have to admit, I am not one of those people who have ever played a game from Gears of War. I should play one of those at some point in time. Do you think you'd recommend a game from Gears of War? And if so, which game from Gears of War would you want me to start out with? The first one, or do you want me to go to maybe a different game like GOW2, whatever? However, the one game that I do think that I got most excited about was Forza Horizon 4. And I will tell you why. When I got the Xbox One a few months ago, one of the games I was most excited about playing was the packing game that they had, which is Forza Horizon 3. And with it, the Hot Wheels expansion. Holy hell! I had enormous fun with this game. It was like Burnout Paradise without so much the crashes. Please give us a new Burnout game at some point, Criterion. But this game was enormous amounts of fun. This was the simulation / arcadey style game that I was really wanting. And I was really in the mood for a racing game. And GT Sport didn't really satisfy me. I was going to buy that GT Sport, and I thought, the focus on online competitive play was not more of my cup of tea at that point in time. I wanted more of the single player. So I went around and I bought the Xbox One because it has a 4K Blu-ray player, something that I recently was in the need for because I now have a 4K TV. And Forza Horizon, holy mackerel, that was a experience. Especially with the Hot Wheels expansion. Especially with that one. Because of the whole loops and just the fact that you gotta go fast. You gotta go fast. You gotta go fast. Man, that was so much fun. I'm still working on that. There's just too many games I'm trying to balance out. But the second I have the time to go back to it, you know I'm going to go back to this whole thing. Because that is amazing. And Forza Horizon 4... set in Great Britain and Seasons. And the way that they presented this was awesome. The way that they had the leaves fall from the sky, from the roof when they were showing off the fall season, and the mechanic of how the season's going to change how you race. We already seen that in a way with, what is it, Blizzard Mountain or something like that in Forza Horizon 3. If I remember correctly, that was the name of that first expansion that they had. If it's going to play something like that, if that was a taste of what they're going to do here with the ice racing. Since when does a racing game let you race on pure ice and let you do donuts? Just let me do donuts all day. I wouldn't care anything else about the game. Just let me go into a parking lot in the game and let me do donuts all day. That's gonna be my experience in the game. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. If that's what you want to do, then give me your gamer tag and let me join you. Okay? So, yeah, that was the big one that I was excited about. And though we didn't see any release dates for Halo Infinite or Gears 5, Forza Horizon is going to get an October release date. Now, I've been hearing that there's a yearly release of Forza games, that next year we'll get a mainline Forza Motorsport game, and then the next one after that is another Forza Horizon game. So we should expect more of these types of games coming forward. So give me more Forza Horizon over Forza Motorsport, because I've also have Forza Motorsport 7, and though I do like the way they present the simulation style of thing, I would like more of the way that GT Gran Turismo did theirs before they went stupid with how they presented their simulation environment. Give me more of the GT3 A-spec type of gameplay, and I would be ecstatic for those types of games again. Some of the other games that were present during this presentation was, finally, we get new Kingdom Hearts 3 footage, and we did get the announcement earlier on that this is going to be a January release. They finally have a release date for this. But we also saw that we have Frozen, we have Toy Story, we have Hercules back. We also have Tangled for whatever reason. I didn't know that was a highly sought after Disney movie to be put into Kingdom Hearts. I would really love if they put in Disney afternoon stuff like Gargoyles, Chip the Rusty Rangers. Put in Kim Possible, please. Hopefully they have listened to us, but the graphics on this look amazing. I'm really interested to see what some of the new moves that Sora's using, what he's doing in there, and how that's going to incorporate into the game, and how it's going to work out, and how he gets those kinds of powers or whatever. More things to try to memorize now. Gotta memorize, yeah. They also showed off Fallout 76, which is set in West Virginia, with the whole Take Me Home Country Road by the late and great John Denver. And they better get this locale right, because I grew up in West Virginia. You need to do all the major cities of West Virginia. You need to do Charleston, Huntington, Morgantown, Wheeling, the outliers in Kentucky, Ohio, PA, Maryland. You gotta do some good things. Show off some locales, some torn up locales like what Last of Us did with Pittsburgh. I love that because I know a lot about Pittsburgh. I know the locales like the Fort Pitt Tunnel and that double-decker bridge. That was amazing to be familiar with that sort of environment. West Virginia is an environment that I'm familiar with because, of course, I grew up there. So, yes, get this right. Please get this right. Of course, it's a Fallout game. You know what to expect. Probably not a mainline Fallout game. This is more like New Vegas style. So again, you're Bethesda. Why show this off at Microsoft's press conference? You're a PC-centric company. Why show this off at the Microsoft press conference unless you're bringing in the whole notion that you're still friends with Microsoft and Microsoft still supports your company in a sort of way, maybe financial, maybe in manpower. You're a PC-centric company. Show that to us. We finally see new footage from PUBG, and finally they're showing off new environments, new maps. Finally, how long is it taking for us to get those? We also saw Sekiro, a new Ori game, and ports of Nier Automata and Tales of Vesperia. We're going to get those on the Xbox One. We already knew that Nier Automata was going to end up on the Xbox One. One other game that seemed to get a good bit of attention at the conference was Division 2, which was a Ubisoft game game. I'm not sure why Ubisoft decided to show that here, since they have a E3 press conference. Let Aisha Tyler show that off. Why you have Phil Spencer do that? At the very least, Aisha Tyler would make jokes about it and cuss up a storm by it, which by the way is okay by me, but why show it off here? I don't understand that. Why would you put a lengthy presentation in the Microsoft press conference when, one, this was a more of a PC-centric game because of the MMO style mechanics you were putting into a shooter game, and two, what was different about this particular game from the Division other than the environments that you're going to be in? What's the story? What sort of outbreak are we going to have this time? What's the changes to the HUD? Because I didn't really see that much. Maybe I wasn't paying that much attention, but I didn't really see much of a change from the HUDs. And usually you see some sort of maybe cosmetic change to them from the first game to the second, or perhaps a bit of ways to make it easier to read, but it didn't really seem like it changed much of anything, except for the locales or maybe the characters. For as much as they showed off, I don't think they really said anything that's really changed. He also showed off Just Cause 4, which I've kind of grown out of that series anymore, but whatever. Devil May Cry 5 now has been announced, and I still don't know why these game companies don't just have their own press conferences. Why is it always got to be the Microsoft press conference that you go to introduce these things? What are they paying you? But it's great that we have a new Devil May Cry game for those people who are fans of that game. Sorry, I haven't really gotten into those games, although maybe I should start. And they also showed off one other game at the end I'll get to in just a second, because that was pretty much the big reveal. But one of the other things that Microsoft did show off was about is Game Pass. This is that service which makes you be able to stream games directly to your Xbox One console through the internet, and they're doing something called Fast Start, which will make the games load faster, which shouldn't have been something you've done at the very start. Why is this now a feature? This sounded more like a bug. Now you're making, oh, we're going to give you this to make you run faster. Why didn't you make it run faster in the first damn place, people? Why you put these in later and have them as features? Why is everybody cheering that? You should have had that in there from the very start. Maybe you just didn't realize how popular it's going to be. By the way, my credit card, my debit card does not work with this thing. Apparently you need a bank credit card. Why do people do this? The Humble Monthly store does this, to where you need an actual bank account and a debit card associated with that bank account in order to be able to subscribe to the monthly service. And if you don't have access to one, screw you. Apparently the Microsoft Game Pass is doing the same thing, but I don't know that for sure. I'll have to contact them and see what the problem is. But to those types of people who are so scared about fraud that they think that prepaid credit cards are going to be the death of them, may want to really rethink their strategy in dealing with fraud. However, yeah, the Game Pass, if I was able to use it, I would give you a detailed review of it, but I don't have access to it because for whatever reason, it's not letting me use it. It's not letting me do any kind of free trial or anything like that. So Fast Start, maybe it doesn't need it. Maybe it definitely needed it because they're announcing it and it was something that should have been in there from the very start. Why did you put this as a feature? It sounded like more like a bug. And then we get to the big reveal, which was more about games or anything like that than it was about features coming to the console, which it didn't really say anything about the console itself besides the Game Pass. That would seem like the only thing that's going to be new that would make the console run better, or new features to Xbox Live or something like that. They didn't say anything like that. They ended with a world premiere of CD Projekt Red's upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077. And when this trailer started, it looked more like Super Hot, but it ended up being Cyberpunk 2077 from the same people who brought us The Witcher 3. I was like, who are these people? Who is CD Projekt Red? And my mind was like trying to rack around itself, trying to figure out who are these people. Then it dawned on me, these are the same people that made the Witcher games. And although I didn't hear much about this particular game, or that they were making a new game or a new IP, I'm sorry to say, this just seemed like another shooter to me, another open world shooter. and it didn't really strike me as something that was significant. It looked great, it looked fantastic, I'm not going to discredit them for that, but it just seems as though, okay, I've seen these games before. What is going to be so different and so groundbreaking about this game that is not going to be in other games? And maybe I'm in the minority, maybe I'm in the outliers of this, but nothing in that trailer after the beginning of it and the way that they started the whole thing really grabbed me. If you remember the Sunset Overdrive game that Microsoft showed up with a few years ago, this looked like that game, with the mohawks and stuff like that, and it didn't really strike out as something that I was excited about. Like, okay, that's another game. What else do you have to show me? I was waiting for another big title. They should have ended with Gears 5. They should have ended with that game, because that game got a huge ovation. It got a major ovation, and I'm not sure if Cyberpunk had the same ovation, but you could think that Gears 5 had a much better reception to it for whatever reason, and that's because I believe they had the same reaction that I did, that it was really not a grabbing trailer. Game's probably going to be awesome. The game looks fantastic. It looks pretty good, but it didn't really strike me as something we haven't seen before. So what is different about this game that is not going to be in games like it? Because there's going to be a slew of games like that. So all in all, I would say that the Microsoft press conference was okay. I would have loved to see more of features put into the Microsoft console itself. There were other games that I'm forgetting about. The new Namco Bandai game that is going to feature the Show and Jump and the Dragon Ball characters in a probably open world fighting game. I forget the name of it now. There's other games that I am probably forgetting about. Dying Light 2 was also shown off, but to be quite honest with you, I expected more of major announcements about like improvements to maybe the interface of the Xbox One, maybe some changes to the Xbox Live Arcade, things like that, and all we got was a change to the Game Pass, which again, I would test it out if I was able to get a subscription for it, and right now it's not letting me do that. So okay, so Microsoft, get it together, and the people who are doing that kind of stuff, please rethink your steps. Yes, I did say that I would mention the whole thing with the Humble monthly store doing that to the Humble Bundle people, and yes, this is that one thing. It was all about the games. I do appreciate that. I am on the fence about the acquisitions of the studios. Again, I get why people are excited about that, because they don't really see Microsoft investing too much in first-party games, but I can see where other people are coming from about why they might be squeamish about not only Microsoft playing keep away from other consoles yet again, but also we've seen what they've done with first-party studios. Hi, Rare, how are you? So let's just say that they're not going to do the same thing here and screw it up royally. The one thing I was majorly excited about was, of course, Forza Horizon 4, because holy crap, I am a Forza Horizon fan now, and that's going to make me excited. I want to see more about that, especially the season mechanic. We're probably going to hear more about Kingdom Hearts 3 and Division 2 and those types of games, and Just Cause 2 at the respective conferences. By the time you watch this, they'll probably already be done. So yeah, I could make this a grade of maybe a B-. It didn't do enough for me to go out and buy an Xbox One right now, but it did do enough for those people who already own the platform to say, okay, this sounds really cool. I want to see more of it. I want to see what you have in store. I want to see if you can deliver on these promises. Just do more to improve the quality of me playing it on your console over top of any other console, because you didn't really do that. They said, oh, they'll play best on the Xbox One, on the Xbox platform. How? You never showed that. You never showed why I should play Kingdom Hearts 3 on your platform over top of the PlayStation 4, or Division 2 on your platform over top of the PC. You never showed me that. So show me that. Show me why. Because right now, you're pretty equal with the PS4. You're pretty equal with the PC. And you're always doing that cross-platform thing. Show that to me. Show me why I had to go get the Xbox One to play these third-party games on your console. And give me more of a reason to want to buy an Xbox One. That's all we've ever asked. But again, for those people who already own the Xbox One, they have a lot to look forward to. Just not enough for those people who have not taken the plunge yet to buy an Xbox One to do that. Give us something definitive that we can do. Otherwise, this is a B- for me. It's not the failure that I think everybody's saying it is, but at the same time, I think they could have done a lot more with it. I think they could focus a lot more about the inner workings of the system and improving the quality of the system itself. Though, when you load things with all these types of games, you're going to win. You're definitely going to do a win now, regardless of whether or not the games themselves are going to capture audiences. So that's going to do it for me for the special report. Thanks again for watching. But before I go, I'm going to give you an OZ remix track of the day. Again, this is in memory of TotalBiscuit, who would have put up his own content patch of these press conferences. And we're continuing to celebrate his life by doing this until some people tell us, hey, we don't want you to do this anymore, JD, stop doing that. Because I can't find any remix that is relevant to this topic, I'll just pick out something that caught my ear. This one is from one of the most underrated, well, until recently, RPGs of all time, Earthbound on the SNES. Red Blue Sanctuary is the name of this track, and from the guy by the name of Blinster, and this is one of the boss fight songs, the Sanctuary Guardian boss fight songs. Until next time, my name is JD Shadow. That just happened.